We have been working with the State Board of Elections for 30 days on this, meeting with their investigators. There were, as far as we were understood, 200 signatures or so that they were concerned about. Only in those 200 signatures they're concerned about that we cooperated fully with them on, none of those counted as verified signatures. So it didn't take away from the total of 15,953 that we had. And so the state argued, though, that, and the board of the State Board of Elections is 3 Democrats and 2 Republicans. The Democrats argued that because there had been these irregularities, that means there could be more irregularities. And even though we've taken 30 days and we haven't found any evidence of that, there could be more, so we need more time. But because tomorrow's the deadline, we don't have that time. So we're not going to certify you. And that was it.
Which means no third party's getting on the ballot.
Because
there's always going to be a few irregularities with any petition. I mean, what the hell?
Always. And we were never presented with we were told aspects of it, but we were never really presented with the evidence where we could say, oh, that makes sense. So-and-so turned that in. Or, one of the things is that there's supposedly a dead person who signed. We have no idea who that person is or so it's kind of like, well, we started collecting signatures in February 2021. It's very possible that someone signed this last year and has passed away, unfortunately, over the past year. Yeah. Like there's all kinds of it's all onesies and twosies and things that are explainable and understandable and don't in any way add up to, anything that would take away from our total that would put us below the threshold. And again, we've been working with knowing about 200 of these things that they had pointed out. And so what happens is that as they're saying this, our attorney, and we were not allowed to engage in the hearing really at all. Our attorney at the very beginning of the hearing was allowed to give a statement for a few minutes, but he didn't even know what they were going to present. So he couldn't argue or make a case or anything for any of it. So at the end, he finally was allowed to ask one question. And he said, Mr. Chairman, does this does anything you're talking about affect our verified signatures?
Yeah,
that affects our ability to be certified. And the chair said, no, I can't. I'm not going to answer that question. There's a criminal investigation going on. At that point, there was no criminal investigation going on. Now we're seeing this week that they're saying there might be a criminal investigation. We don't even know because we've had no communication from the State Board of Elections in the last week. So he says, no, I'm not going to answer that. Our attorney tries to follow up, and then the chair shouts our attorney down and mutes his microphone. And that was our due process.
I've got this film clip and this thing. I got it off your Twitter feed. Now, this is public record, right? This hearing, this video. Yeah. Okay. So watch this, folks. And think about casting shade, I think is the best way to describe this as we go through this thing. And the other thing is, for my Ghostbuster fan friends out there, this guy is not Rick Moranis. Okay. So watch this. It'll take a second or two to get going here, but watch this.
I would like to, and I'm hopeful that we can get to the bottom of this. And it would be my personal desire, to see this new party on the ballot. But given what's in front of us today, I can't in good conscience vote to certify today. So I would like to wait, give our staff enough time to go through this process. If there's a motion to vote on this today, I will be voting no.
Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized?
Yeah, Mr. Hall, let's make it brief though, please.
Well, thank you. Is there any question as to the validity of the 15,953 signatures that have been validated by state county boards of elections?
Mr. Hall, I don't want to get into the details of a criminal investigation, but I have questions sufficient in number to be not willing to vote for certification today.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I asked the question because the board is effectively presuming that there is some question as to the validity of those signatures by delaying the certification and possibly rejecting the certification of the Green Party petitions. And if there is some presumption here that is operative, the presumption ought to be that validated signatures are valid, unless there is some basis for considering them invalid or at least subject to further investigation. So again, the question is there any basis for considering questioning the validity of any one of those 15,953 validated signatures.
And I will thank you for your comments to the board. I will stand by my earlier assertion, and I will ask any other board members if they have questions.
Mr. Chairman, you have not answered the question. You are now
Mr. Hall, you're out of order, sir. Go ahead and mute Mr. Hall, please. I'll ask the board members if they have any other questions for staff.
Okay, so there you go. And Matt talked about that little axiom that I use on the show all the time about 2020. The other one that I use, are they too dumb or are they in on it? Now, this guy, this is what he does. This is his major responsibility in life, I think, probably. And he knows that these petitions are all going to have irregularities. He knows by putting this on hold and not approving this, that will effectively remove you from the ballot. This guy, I don't think he's too dumb. I think he's in on it.
Oh, and he's supposed to be in on it. I mean, it's a partisan operation. I mean, and one of the things I want to make clear is that I know that if I was not on the left, if I was on the right and I was a conservative candidate, or we were a conservative party, I should say, that it would have been reversed and the Republicans would have been arguing against us and the Democrats for us. I mean, this is one of the reasons why we are doing this. This validates everything we say about the two-party system being exclusionary, corrupt, and undemocratic.